Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
And I'm Katrina Unit.
And today we have a special guest star, Boo Boo. Hello, Boo Boo.
Oh my
Say
God!
hello, everybody. Hello, Boo Boo.
Oh my God, that is so cute.
Mwah.
Whose dog is that?
Oh, I don't know. Just grabbed it. No. Boo Boo it also appears in our Ratatouille episode, yet to come out, but it has been recorded. I think Boo Boo wants to get down. Maybe Boo Boo will join us later for
Bye, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo's specific favorite part of the film.
What are Boo Boo's pronouns?
Boo Boo is a she. Boo Boo is a lovely little girl, aren't you, Boo Boo? Aren't you, Boo Boo? And we're going to get you pregnant. We're going to get you pregnant, aren't we? She's going to get pregnant, Boo Boo. Boo Boo is absolutely delightful. We love Boo Boo.
Whose dog is Boo Boo?
Boo Boo is not a guest yet. Henrietta. I am caring for Boo Boo, and it's wacky. It's like just the second half of a guy gets a dog movie. Except I've always loved you, haven't I? Yeah.
And Boo Boo's favorite film, incidentally, is Mission Impossible 3.
3.
Agent confirmed.
Stand by to go live. On my mark. 5.
You have a wife, girlfriend?
4. 3.
Whoever she is, I'm gonna find her.
2.
I'm gonna hurt her.
1.
And then I'm gonna kill you right in front of her.
What are you not telling me?
Execute.
She's a big fan of Mission Impossible 3. She thinks that it's underrated nowadays in the canon.
Yep.
I forgot that this was J.J. Abrams' debut. I didn't realize that it was his film debut. Oh, you're scratching me. What are you scratching me for? She wants to talk about J.J. Abrams. I want to talk about J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
So, were you a lost person ever?
No.
No,
Never.
I remember my family watching the big 2-hour pilot. That was a big deal, and that was about it. So he directs some episodes of Felicity, which I also believe he had a hand in creating, which coincidentally stars Kerry Russell.
Such a nice car.
Do it. It's Hunt. I know it's Hunt.
You'll never get what you want! You don't think I'll do it?
This isn't our first Kerry Russell movie because we did The Delightful Waitress, which is
I love that film.
This is a fine film, yes. Then he does The Lost Pilot, and I believe he has a hand in creating that as well with Damon Lindelof. Then he directs a lot of episodes of Alias, and then he directs Mission Impossible 3. I'm not a big Office US fan, but he directed an episode called Cocktails. Is that a good episode, Katrina? Are you
I hate The Office US.
Good.
Controversial opinion.
Yeah. Then he makes Star Trek, which I think has actually grown a bit underrated.
I like that film. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, of course, and then he makes Super 8. Do you remember anything about Super 8, Katrina?
No.
No, me neither. Well, no, that's not true. I remember Carl Chandler. I remember that the alien turns out to be good. I remember that he has to let go of a necklace.
This is like, I think I saw this film like
when you were 11.
once.
I can tell you when you
Yeah,
watched
like
it.
a long time ago.
Yeah. Then Star Trek 2, Into Darkness. A fine film, not the best.
I think the first and the third are
Yeah.
the best ones.
Then, of course, he makes a little movie. I don't know if you've heard of it. Star Trek The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Fine. And then he makes Rise of Skywalker, one of the worst films I've seen in a long time.
I loved the bit where the evil space Nazi kissed the good guy.
Who may or may not have been his sister. It was so weird that people's like two lanes were, I hope they're family or I hope they fuck. Like, in what other world are they the two options that people want?
Some people on Tumblr, them being related wouldn't even have mattered.
Flowers in the Attic.
My mum's most hated film. My mum hates that film.
Is it because she loves the book, or is it because
she loves the book?
I had Flowers in the Attic fan. Does she not like the TV movie with Kiernan and Heather Graham, or is it the 80s movie with Louise?
The 80s movie.
Yeah. Oh, I need to watch that again. Actually,
she despises it. Like, really, that gets her.
Not enough incest.
No, apparently it's not very faithful to the book and like stuff like that.
Oh, we don't like licking wires. There's going to be a lot of that today, of random.
And I feel like I'm going to get confused a few times on who you're actually talking to.
People forget
that.
J.J. Abrams. Oh, you want to come up here? Of course you do, Angel. Of course you do. J.J. Abrams got his start writing like serious dramas. He wrote the wonderful film regarding Henry, where Harrison Ford gets shot and he has to like learn how to speak again. And very good film, wonderful Mike Nichols movie. But today we're talking about Mission Impossible 3, which I feel before Ghost Protocol, everyone was like, this is the best. This is the best one. And I've never agreed with that, as we've talked about with obviously Mission Impossible, big fan of the first film. But not to say that I don't like Mission Impossible 3. I very much enjoy and as a matter of fact, on this rewatch, I found myself enjoying it more than I remember.
Yes, me too. There was a lot of times where I was like, you know what? It isn't as bad as I remember it being. Not even bad, but I just remembered it being disappointing.
Yeah,
in comparison to 4, 5, and 6.
And I think there is a lot of kinetic action and shaky cam that just does nothing for me. Never liked it. I can't really think of many examples where I enjoy that style. I much prefer to see what's happening.
I agree.
Which makes for me
there was a lot of
action sequence in this, the plane sequence, because that has see the whole bridge, and there was a lot of
is it Dutch angles as well?
Yeah,
a lot of that, and I've never liked that in a film.
No, maybe because you weren't a film studies student, were you?
No, I did media.
Which famously, Katrina, I thought Katrina did do film studies, and so I didn't ask her to be in either of my short films that I had to make. And it turns out she was in media. And I think it's fair to say
and after drama lesson, everyone was going, and I was like, oh, where are you off to? And they're like, oh, we're going to, literally all of my friends were like, oh, we're going off to film Tom's short film. And I was like, well, I guess I'll get the bus then.
And it's not even because I didn't like you. I really did like you. It was just because I genuinely thought you also had to make a short film and so wouldn't have the time.
I was like, wow, I didn't realise that mine and Tom's rivalry was real. I thought it was just.
Well, I always liked you, Katrina. You were the one that never liked me.
No, I didn't mind you. I just thought you were a bit. And then me and Tom were put in a group. I think it was the first time we'd been put in a group together to do
the hitchhiker.
We did a short drama piece about hitchhiking. And I think that's when me and Tom were like, oh, okay, actually, no, we're very similar people here.
Very similar comedy wavelengths. Still has the great. So Joe Pilling, not a future guest. Hopefully, I love Joe. There was the great gag of he was so high that he bit off his thumb, and he was hitchhiking. And I think still one of the proudest lines I've ever come up with is, "Oh, you were the guy that fisted us a mile back." Great stuff.
Yeah, we've also got
you guys are fucking crazy.
Because obviously as drama students we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we had a mockumentary style where one of the car passengers came up and did a little monologue while the other people did an a cappella rendition of certain songs.
So for the high, we just went, this is high music. This is high music. Ooh,
Tom was a jock, and for some reason we sang
Born
Born
in the USA.
But that was all we sang. We just went Born in the USA.
I was a big. I'm still a still huge Bruce Springsteen fan, but that was when it all kicked off my Bruce years. To the extent that I once promoted a quiz and arrived to promote the quiz, realized that I was wearing a white shirt and blue jeans, exactly like in the Born in the USA cover, grabbed a red rag, put it in my back pocket, played Born to Run, ran down and went, ha! Thank you. And then just, hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers, and I'd like you to come to my quiz. As
the podcast listeners are probably already aware, Tom was a very interesting character at college, and people had many opinions.
And you know what the crazy part is? That was the period where I actually had a successful girlfriend.
Yeah.
Quote, unquote,
take of that what you want. Take of that what you want.
Mellowed out and all that. And
thank God for that.
Well, if we've learned anything, I need to be more weird if I want to have a girlfriend in the future. That's
apparently so.
Apparently so. More Bruce Springsteen impressions.
If you want a wife as beautiful as Julia.
Oh.
That was just a segue. Sorry, that was just a segue.
Yes. Well, I want to talk about another shaky cam Michelle Monaghan movie that I watched as a kid and had the DVD and watched it every week, and I thought it was the best movie I've ever seen. Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf and Michelle Monaghan. Did you ever see it?
Never seen it. No, I've never seen it.
I thought that movie was the best movie I've ever seen. Watched it again 5 years ago. Terrible.
What do you think of the cold opening? That's my.
Well, I think it's the big thing that people still remember. I think it's really, really effective. And I think when people think of Mission Impossible 3, they go, oh yeah, the rabbit's foot. Phillip Seymour Hoffman, and he shoots Michelle Monaghan. They don't say Michelle Monaghan because lots of people don't know who she is. But they're like, oh yeah, he shoots his wife. I think if you ask people to name other facets of the Mission Impossible 3 plot, nothing.
Yeah, potentially. I think they might remember. I always remember the mask that Seymour Hoffman. Yeah. I always remember that section. But yeah, I suppose you're right. Maybe the plane as well, down.
That was the trailer image, wasn't it? The blowing it in, and it gets flung into the car. That's.
But I do find it very effective. Every time I watch it, I'm always like, damn, Tom Cruise is acting. He's I feel it.
And I think we get the gravitas of Phillip Seymour Hoffman. I don't want to spoil anything, but for me, this might as well be the Phillip Seymour Hoffman podcast. I think he's the best Mission Impossible villain we've ever had. It's redundant to say he's one of the best actors we've ever had. I love Phillip Seymour Hoffman. We've yet to do Paul Thomas Anderson month. We will be doing that Paul Thomas Anderson month. He's my favorite director, and that will just be praise of Phillip Seymour Hoffman over and over and over again.
Well, yeah, he's a fabulous actor. I think he makes a great villain. I think he's convincing. I just wish, and you'll probably agree with me, I wish they'd used him better. I wish they'd utilised him more.
I think they were going for the sort of Hans Gruber-esque, Die Hard. This isn't some maniacal villain. He's just a businessman.
Which I get. Yeah. You know what I would have loved? And I'm a bit ahead of schedule with watching the film. I'm a bit ahead of schedule with watching the films because I'm watching them with my family. So I'll have to rewatch them close to time. But I think he would have been better as Solomon Lane. I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why.
Oh, you're not a big fan of
No, Phillip Seymour Hoffman's dead.
Oh well, yeah, obviously, but he was dead in the film anyway.
No, I know.
Like,
I mean, no, I know. But like, yes, no, I think
idiot. Did you forget that he dies at the end of this film, so they can't use him more?
Oh, come on. Anybody can get brought back. Have you been watching? No, we've talked about this. You haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. But they could have very easily just, pulled him into a coma and, oh, he's in a coma. Oh, he's back.
I suppose so.
But I also like that this isn't that sort of franchise. When people die, they die.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like any ridiculous.
Other than Julia, which I suppose technically in the fourth film you think she's dead for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Then it turns out she isn't. But that isn't being brought back. That's a red herring.
I think for Mission Impossible, there are two types of Mission Impossible fans. There's the people that watch them all and never really return to them. And for them, the fallout reveal of Julia in the science farm or whatever it's called was like, yeah. Was she in part 3? However, for me, that was like, Jesus Christ, goosebumps. Oh my God.
It was gutting. I remember watching it and going, oh, like I was gutted that she was there. Like you felt Ethan go, oh, anyone but this person, which I think is why I think 3 is a great film, because it sets up so many future plot lines. Like there are so many things that come back to this film, like Ethan being like a very caring person, like the whole idea that, he does kind of want normalcy, and then later in the films when he can't get that, he kind of knows more. In like 4, 5, and 6, he kind of knows that there is no normalcy, which changes his character. Not only that, but this film kind of shows that he's very much about saving Boo Boo. I'm trying to
she wanted to get down. She's interested in Michelle Monaghan opinions, but she just wanted to get down.
And like obviously Julia and his love for her, and as well, like you see that he's not just about saving like loads of people. He's also about like saving one person, which is a big storyline that carries through all the films. And you know what? I think he's sweet with Julia. I think that storyline is sweet.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time talking about Tom Cruise's romantic interest in these movies, and this is, of course, the culmination of that. And there is a sex scene, and it's quite sexy. It's quite hot, and so we get that angle as well. But it is chiefly more the romance. And
yeah, it's so much more about these two people as characters. And Ethan, in Julia, he gets a normal life, even though that's something he can't have ever.
Yeah. Sensational stuff. Always liked Michelle Monaghan. Really, I
don't think she's the one who has the best chemistry out of. It's not the worst. I mean, the character from number 4, he has the least chemistry with, in my opinion. Talk about that more in the Ghost Protocol episode. But I think that Julia is the one he has the second most chemistry with, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Ilsa first, then Julia. Yeah. And also in this film, which is something I'm rambling a bit, but I spoke about I think it was either last week or something like that, where I said that I wished one of the romantic interests had been more of a protege. You get that in this film, which is something I wonder if the filmmakers kind of also thought about with Kerry Russell's character, thinking, oh, what if, let's show Ethan as more of a big brother protective type, not showing that it's not just the women he is in love with that he's protective over, but also just other people he cares for.
And Luther brings it up. He says, is this all there is? And it's so refreshing that, this is all there is. She was like a sister to me. I trained her and all that. And that's all there is. There's not even a glimpse of there was one night, but it didn't mean anything. Oh, you're saying that now. and
Yeah.
and also we do the Hitchcock twist again of we think we've got Kerry Russell for a whole movie. Now, wah, wah. No, we've got her for an incredible 10-minute stretch.
Her eyes in that scene is what I was talking about as a kid that really kind of scarred me a little bit, was the way that her eyes when the thing goes off.
Well, originally that was supposed to be even more graphic, so I don't know whether we were going to have a rupture of blood, but now Abrams thinks that the original version was better. I haven't seen the original version. However, I think that's all the more terrifying. What we don't see, if we've seen heads explode.
Yeah.
However, we haven't seen an explosion so tiny that it just bloop inside the head and the eyes just gloss over. That is really good.
Yeah, it was just kind of like that instant. Like
and
that's almost
the touch
scary.
of smoke, like the little tiny bit of smoke, and you go, oh no.
Yeah, it's almost like there is no stopping this. Yeah. Like there is nothing to stop it. Whereas like I feel like a big explosion, it'd be a bit like, oh great.
Yeah, I mean,
the smaller one it's more clinical as well. It's more like, oh god, they've had time to like perfect this. This isn't just something that they're working on. They've perfected this explosive device.
And obviously it's just great setup for when we have it in Tom. And you know, the stakes there of shit, we don't want Tom's eye to go funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot more than that. So this is written by Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orsi and J.J. Abrams, who did who are just terrible writers. They did all the Star Trek movies, and you know, he's on Picard now, I believe. They did Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was also terrible. Yeah, no, not the best. But this is definitely one of their best scripts, I think. Again, though, we're in the realm of, and we're still not there yet when it comes to Mission Impossible going back to its less actiony roots. It really is touches of smart stuff and smart technology and spies, but it is largely an action movie. Whereas and this has a touch more of the espionage and a touch more of the double crossing, but we're not fully there yet with smart twists. And I think actually we don't really get all the way there until we get the politics and the dynamics of the Ilsa stuff, and obviously the back and forth with Cavill. Is he a rat? Is he not? Is he not a rat? And
once again, in Mission Impossible 3, though, we do have Tom, or we do have Ethan. Oh, Ethan's a double agent.
Yeah, again. Well, I forgot to read this out on the Mission Impossible 2, a few fun facts. But like they have it in a few fun facts. This is the only movie in which Ethan Hunt isn't disavowed, betrayed, or or double-crossed by the IMF force, or has to go rogue. Yes, it does. I think it gets a bit tired.
Here's a question
Go on.
Here's a question I have for you, and it's totally unrelated, but it's about. So this one, we get more of a team up than in the other ones. What do you think of said team? Well,
I like Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, just as an actor. Obviously, I don't know if you know this, I like Woody Allen, and Match Point is very good. Were you a Tudors person as a kid, Katrina?
I know, but I was a Bend It Like Beckham kind of kid.
Well, no, I remember Tudors being this really, really sexy show that I couldn't watch, that my grandma had said there were sex scenes. And I remember growing up as a young boy and Googling YouTube, the Tudor sex scenes. and it's just him and I think it's Natalie Dormer, actually. I think she was Anne Boleyn, wasn't she? And they're like just kissing sexually in the woods. And I was like, oh my God, this is so naughty. Oh, I'm watching the Tudors. And then I never actually have watched the Tudors. But anyway, no, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is excellent in Match Point. And here, I think he's fine. And I like Maggie Q. It's very Jeremy Renner and that woman, I'm sorry, those people of like, okay, you're not as interesting as Luther. You're not as interesting even as Jean Reno in Mission Impossible.
Not as interesting as Benji, who's like this, the fun kind of comic relief.
And obviously, I think they know what they have there, and because this could have very easily been
Benji's only,
yeah. I mean,
I'm glad they did bring him back. I think he says a very different character to, Luther's cool, Ethan's cool, even Jeremy Renner's character is played off as cool, but then you get this kind of like, I suppose what Billy from the second film could have been.
Yeah, I liked Billy as well. I liked Billy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I also, as much as I love Luther and as much as I love Benji, and I'm not saying I ever want to live in a world where they don't come back every movie, I do like the idea of every movie having a different team.
Yeah, I do get that, but also at the same time, then you run into issues, which I think this film has, where I just didn't care about them.
Oh yeah, there is the bit where where Maggie Q's talking as a little monologue about.
Oh, and I will like skip it. I'd rather see the heist that Ethan is currently pulling off to get the rabbit's foot, but we don't. Instead, we get this of you saying Chinese prayers, which lovely. Don't care about.
I think they thought it was really clever. I think they thought, oh, we're going to distract you. We're going to talk about this, and then, oh no, there was a whole exciting thing, and he's jumping out of a window. But it just doesn't work that way, and we'd much rather just be watching the thing. But yeah, no, I like Jonathan Rhys-Meyers for what he gets when he's doing a bit of Scottish. I copy. All I do is copy. And
I think is that not just his accent? He's Irish, isn't he? He's Irish.
He's English in Match Point.
Yes, but he isn't English. He's Irish, Dom.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Well, he's Irish in Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah, doesn't mean he's Irish.
And I just googled it, and he's an Irish actor, so he's doing an Irish accent.
Okay, maybe like Braveheart, that movie full of Irish people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think no good. Luther's the best part, and I mean, we've said this too many times now, but Luther's sensational as always, very funny, and at this point, I feel a real friendship.
Yeah.
Like in that moment we were talking about when they're discussing Felicity, Lindsay, sorry, she plays Felicity in the show Felicity. Anyway, when they're discussing Lindsay, and he comes to, and they're talking, I think it's like under a pier or something, and they're back and forth, and it's at this point like they're very close, and obviously all the banter they have about the wedding. And
I love that's one of my favorite parts is like Luther trying to deter him from marrying Julia and saying all this stuff, and then it's technically Phillip Seymour Hoffman that's like, we got married like last night, and he goes, congratulations, and it's just like, it's
so weird hearing Tom Cruise, but like for somebody who's watched Boogie Nights like 3 times a year since he was like 10 years ago, it's so, because I can just hear him say those lines and just go, we got married. I mean, that was Buffalo Bill, but
yeah, no, Jesus,
we got married, and you can see his like mouth reaching the way that his mouth reaches, and go, and that sort of thing. But it's Tom Cruise, and obviously, I'm one of my favorite films ever is Magnolia. I would be a terrible Magnolia fan if I didn't obviously mention that Tom Cruise and Phillip Seymour Hoffman were both in Magnolia, in the same scenes. They're in the same subplot. Have you seen Magnolia, Katrina?
No.
Have you seen any Paul Thomas Anderson movies? Boogie Nights, Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love, The Master, There Will Be Blood.
Punch Drunk Love, is that the one
Adam Sandler?
No.
It's very good. And Emily Watson. You like Emily Watson, don't you? She's the blind woman in Red Dragon.
I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, I know her. She's all right. She's all right. She's in Chernobyl.
There Will Be Blood, The Master, Inherent Vice, Phantom Thread.
No, I'm not seen any of these films. Well, I'm a terrible film watcher. I basically watch the same films over and over again. Well, Mission Impossible series.
When I do Paul Thomas Anderson month, which I think will be this year or so, I'll get you on for one. I don't know. I'm trying to think now what I think your favorite. I think it might be Punch Drunk Love. I think, I mean, we're lovers of love. We love romance in the movies anyway, and in real life. You're coming back up here, Angel. Come on then. You want to talk about IMF, don't you? Come here.
This is the first one where we get a glimpse of IMF as
Yes.
an organization, not just as this like mysterious thing. We see it as an organization. You know, you've got Brassel, which is there, and then he never comes back ever again.
No.
Lawrence, whatever his
Fishburne.
name is, that's it. Never see him again, which is a shame because I actually quite liked him.
I think he's very good, yeah. And I think he's I do find it a little bit weird that he's really evil and really menacing until we know that he's not the villain. and then all of a sudden he's the nicest guy you've ever met. I feel like we need I feel like Cavill and Angela Bassett, I think there's a better job with Angela Bassett in Fallout of we don't know with her, she's unknowable. Because,
she's great in that film.
Oh, she's fucking great. Angela, have you seen What's Love Got to Do with It?
No. Is that her as Whitney?
It's Tina.
That's it.
With Lawrence Fishburne actually as Ike Turner, and he is fucking brutal in it, but she is sensational. That for me, when people talk about like
I've seen a clip of her arriving at the hotel.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If there is ever an Oscar, when people talk about Oscar travesties, I always say Michelle Pfeiffer in Fabulous Baker Boys and Somebody Wants to Get Onto Bed, and Angela Bassett in What's Love Got to Do with It. Absolutely sensational. Good evening. My name is Tina Turner. I don't have any money. Absolutely incredible. The fact that she didn't win that Oscar is that's why we do Oscar travesty, because the Oscars mean nothing apart from when we like the movies and we want them to mean something.
Yeah.
We haven't actually done any categories. Let's do some categories. I mean, we've talked around a lot of things. Box office rundown. Again, I mean, it did well. These are movies that do well repeatedly. Budget 150 million, box office 398.5. So a little bit less than the previous outing. That's the end of that sentence.
Yeah, but it still did well.
No, yeah, these are movies that do tremendously well, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things. YouTube comments, still the best Mission Impossible movie, though Rogue Nation came close. I don't think we agree with that.
No, I think Fallout's my favorite.
Yeah, for me, I flip between Fallout and Mission Impossible. I love this movie even more because of Phillip Seymour Hoffman. I really miss him. Great actor. Couldn't agree more there. There's absolutely nothing said about Ethan's old girlfriend Naya in this part, especially when he cured her of the Chimera virus in the previous part. Suddenly, out of the bloom, he got that Julia as a new one. Lol.
I suppose there is 6 years supposedly between 2 and 3, which is definitely enough time to break up with someone.
They went to Venice, fucked each other's brains out, and then were like, "Oh no, this doesn't work."
Yeah, I definitely think with Naya, it was definitely more. And I don't know if this is just the way the films makers made it, but it definitely felt more of a lust thing. Whereas I don't know, Tom Cruise's acting, the way it was written, the storyline as well, very much felt like Julia was a lot more important, and that they'd been together a lot longer. They lived together, they were comfortable. But I do think it's weird that Americans don't meet the family until after they're engaged. Like, her sister meets Tom at that party.
Well, no, see, I thought the whole thing there was, and I've misremembered this, when that started, I thought, oh yeah, they met when he was like in some foreign country and he couldn't, and like they couldn't reveal where he was and they had an affair. But I was like, no, I'm just completely forgetting all of that. I think that it's because they haven't met him yet because of IMF for some reason. But then she doesn't know about IMF. So
I think it's just an American thing. You see it in a lot of American films where they don't meet the family until like the wedding or just before the wedding. I think it might just be an American.
Great movie.
I think it might just be an Americanism that we don't get.
I guess that's still kind of. I mean, wedding culture's dying out, much to my chagrin. But that is kind of still present. Like I don't know, think about it this way: when we don't live in our parents' houses, how long will it take before you? It ranges on people's relationships with their family and the like. But like now that I'm not living with my family, I don't know. And
I don't know.
I think I'd want a success. Like I'd want a couple of months or so of like, oh no, this is because what if you I'm like, this is Julia, and then Julia leaves like the next week.
I mean, I don't even want to talk about any of my current situation because this is a year in advance. This is going to be a year in advance. But like,
this is like 500 Days of Summer when it just turned. That's our longest episode still by far. I say by far, by 15 minutes, and it's basically just dissections of relationships.
Like, I don't even want to talk about it because in a year when this comes out, I could be like, oh, that's embarrassing. But
you could have met an IMF member at Lake Wanakar.
No, yeah. I mean,
it is possible to keep running a series into the ground, but there comes a series along the way that keeps it entertaining. I feel like that was an old Chinese philosopher speaking there.
Yeah, it's very wise, very wise.
However, there is the Katrina Unit 1-star review corner. Lots of explosions, no substance. If your idea of an action movie is limited character development, not much dialogue, a weak storyline, but with lots of fancy stunts and things exploding, then MI3 is the film for you.
Yeah, and there's one here that says, for what Mission Impossible 3 has to offer, there isn't much to hate on, which is exactly why I wish it had a stronger story, which I understand that. There isn't much to hate on because there isn't that much substance to the plot or the storyline in this one, which is weird. It almost felt like it needed longer, but at the same time, it doesn't
need to be longer, I thought.
Does that make sense, though? Like, it's like it needs to be longer, but also that'd just be a lot more of what we've already got, which isn't that much.
It's very, very simple. It feels like there needs to be another wrinkle halfway through.
I just wish we could have seen the rabbit foot heist.
Yeah. I think they were going for something with, we're going to go purely Hitchcock. We're going to be like North by Northwest. It's just going to be a MacGuffin. What is this rabbit's foot? We're just getting the rabbit's foot. There's no grand plot. There's no double crossing. Well, no, there is. But like, there's no grand plot. We just need to get the rabbit's foot. And that can be great. I love it. I love nothing more than a Type 90, flying bar, But this isn't that. It's 2 hours and 5, and it feels like it needs another wrinkle. I feel like we need the Billy Crudup twist is great. Love Billy Crudup. But I feel like that needs to either come earlier, and then we see Billy Crudup, maybe Lawrence Fishburne figures out that Crudup's a rat, and we stay with Fishburne for 10 minutes or so. I don't know. But it's very simple for a film that's 2 hours.
Brassel seems like a very smart character, so I find it interesting that he is so intent on blaming Ethan and not looking for more of a. Either way, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad.
No.
Out of 5, I'd probably give it a 3-star rating.
Yeah, I'd be in the 6-7 territory. This movie gives you reason to cheer for the bad guys. I've seen Swiss cheese with less plot holes than this story. Don't know why they said plot holes with Swiss cheese. Can anyone tell me what happens between the moment that Ethan lands on the building that houses the rabbit's foot and then suddenly appears crashing through a window? I'm pretty sure they had the budget. Okay, no, there is no question they had the budget. So why did we avoid this sequence? This dull action, non-action movie, and I'm a girl who loves The Fifth Element and The Transporter, was heavy on the emotional, choosing marriage scenes. There were people laughing out loud during Tom's crocodile tears scene. I mean, it felt like a personal ad about why he's choosing to settle down in a rustic Scientologist family. The best thing about this movie was the cool chick from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
You know what? What a great review.
Yeah. I'd go to a Dianetics Center. Geez, what's next? Battle Earth 2 by Tom? Coming for the Scientology there. Good actors and a bad story. Our hero, and we know he's that because we've seen the first 2 movies, is going after the bad guy, and that's all.
What more? To be fair, what more do you want?
We've got one here, which I find quite interesting. There's no I in Team Tom. Mr. Cruise on the screen most of the time. This didn't leave much time to develop any other characters. This seemed to be even more the case with this third film. I don't seem to remember more than 30 seconds in the whole film that doesn't cut back to Tom Cruise. Even Ving Rhames is reduced to almost a bit part. And Phillip Seymour Hoffman is great and should have had more time to develop. So there's things in that one that we actually agree with a little bit. I think it's just coming from the angle of this is Tom Cruise's passion project, and he's ruining a team show.
Yeah, which I suppose
It's
they do
fair.
move. Yeah, from the fourth onwards, they do move on from that. I suppose they move.
And I think it's that problem that we've already talked about with if the team was better, as in the first film, then you would see it as more of a team movie. Best 10-minute stretches. We've talked about saving Felicity. Jesus Christ, Kerry Russell. We've talked about the plane sequence. We've talked about the bridge and the ending. For you, is there anything I'm missing there? Any set pieces or quieter moments or the like?
I quite like when he's on the phone to Benji running to try and find, because I also like, but do I only like it because I like the setup for Fallout when they're doing the exact same thing. But also I do just really like Simon Pegg.
He's a great actor.
I think he's good in this film. One of my favorite lines is from him in this film.
Shoot.
It's the one where it's like, oh, when I see them selling like mysterious tech like this that they don't explain what it is, I always think it's that. I always think it's something about, I don't know what exactly it says, or like the god, not the god, something.
Oh, the anti-god.
The anti-god, yeah. I think that's a good. I like that it's a monologue, but also it cuts to Ethan and Luther being like, what the hell is this weird English guy talking about?
Bloody Brits. Which takes us into Thomas Riddler's specific favourite part of the film. I love him throwing away the ice to get the ice.
Oh, yeah.
I love Tom Cruise and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers doing outrageous Italian stereotypes as binmen. Oh, the beans, the beans. Jesus Christ.
One of mine is Phillip Seymour Hoffman doing parkour.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan's doing parkour, so you get him doing parkour.
The mask machine, we talked about it last week. Stroke of absolute genius. We could have, we don't need it. And we could have just, lied to ourselves and said, this is just one of the things that happens in the Mission Impossible movies. There is this.
No, but you get an explanation.
And it fucking rules. The cream that blows up Phillip Seymour Hoffman, freezes Phillip Seymour Hoffman's car. That is so satisfying.
Yeah, I really like that there's more emphasis on the actual tech, like the actual spy tech in this one, because... And
simple stuff as well. It's just
the
freezers.
The mask machine, it's like, I think they probably thought about how they would do it. And I also like that, in 2, we said, Jesus, stop using masks so much. I think there's only... 2. I think he uses 2, but also what I like is that there's more emphasis on hiding in plain sight in this one, with Tom, Ethan dressing as one of the, what are they called? Monks.
Oh, but yeah.
Also, it's not a binman. I think it's a DPD lorry, but okay.
Oh, sorry.
I think they might, but I don't know. They might just be delivery people. And then, him dressing as that, and then just him dressing in ways where he's like he's not hiding his face, but people look past it because he's dressed how he's supposed to. And it's more spy. He's walking past and getting into places he shouldn't be, but just because he's got the confidence and looks like he's supposed to be there, he can get past everything.
Famously, people say this, and I don't think it's true in every situation, but you can walk into most anywhere if you just look confident and look like you should be there. I love 2 little moments, like back to back. I love Cruise landing on the table and then his face when the parachute starts flying and he's going, whoa, whoa. And then also the paper that just flies into that guy's face and then hard cuts. I found that very funny. Katrina, any other specific those little moments that?
I do think their wedding's quite cute.
Oh yeah,
I think that's sweet. I also really like when he's looking for Julia and he's like running around and
he knows everybody's name in the hospital.
That's sweet. I think that's probably because he's there all the time. But also he walks straight past her being wheeled out on a gurney, and it's like, that's her.
Tom.
Mister.
Tom.
I also really like the reveal that who he thinks is Julia being shot is actually the translator.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same as the reveal in the second film, but also it's a lot more
emotionally affecting you.
Yeah.
It's not just
Um,
Richard Roxburgh.
Here's a random one. Maggie Q's dress.
Yeah,
It's a great dress.
it's a great dress.
Here's my final one. Sorry, I'm rambling a lot. I actually
Keep
do
rambling.
don't mind
That's what this medium is.
when he's put, he's Phillip Seymour Hoffman is he's hanging out of the plane, and then Luther's trying to stop him, and he goes, Ethan, and then he picks him up and he like says Ethan, he calls him Ethan. I'm like, oh, Luther.
Ethan, very chilling, very good stuff. Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Which takes us into soundtrack corner. Look, a couple of nice little soundtrack choices this year. This lots of pop music. To I guess they're being funny and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and it largely works.
When he puts I do actually like the bit where he's got the transmitter and he's holding I don't know how he does such a good Lawrence Fishburne impression. No, I'm not sure about that one. It's perfect. It's impeccable. Sounds just like. And then he obviously holds it down and puts it next to the radio. I like that bit actually. It's
good. Oscar travesty. I don't really think.
Can I have one final favorite moment?
You know what? Why not?
It's when they're in Shanghai and you get to see how smart Ethan really is by him just doing an equation on the window, because I think obviously you see his intelligence at the film, but I just think it's cool that obviously he's got to be like really intelligent. Like, they know, all of the IMF agents know like multiple languages, and they're probably recruited like straight out of college or something like that, or university, to be a part of it, because they are so intelligent. And that's, you kind of get more examples of Ethan showing how smart he is, like intelligent, like actual academic intelligence, rather than just in 2 where it felt like he's just punching and driving into people.
Yes, no, and and he draws it on the window, and then they make friend smash. What's it? Face smash. What's it called? Face mash.
Friendster.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know what they call it.
Best single minute. I've got the opening, which we've just discussed, and I like meeting Fishburne, and his just cutting everybody down is very, very enjoyable. Oh, I missed it. And then another single minute. Crudup's lips, and very, very good. Enjoyable sequence. And spy reminds you of being a spy.
Yeah.
Best line.
I said my favorite.
Yes. Impossible Mission Force. Shut up. We've talked about it. Don't do it, Ethan. Luther. Julie and I got married 2 days ago. Well, congratulations. Very good. Very good.
There's one that Brassel says where he's like something about asking a rhetorical question, and I can't remember what it was.
Don't answer I was being rhetorical. Don't answer my questions or something. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Something like, please don't interrupt me when I'm asking rhetorical questions. Yeah. Something like that.
I'll die unless you kill me. Could be the most stupid line ever said, but also works and is obviously completely makes sense in the time. Let's get negative. What's the change? Trina, any major change?
I think we've kind of spoken about it a little bit. I'd have liked to have seen them utilize Phillip Seymour Hoffman a little bit more. I don't know. I just didn't care about the rest of the team, but also I didn't want to care, but I don't know if that's just because I know the team up that you're going to get later, like with Benji and Luther and stuff like that, and Ilsa from the 5th and 6th film. So it's more like, do I just not care about them because they're underutilized? And would I have cared about them if they'd have brought them back for a 4th film?
And also, I think we're talking about, like that we talked specifically with the first film about, the traditionalists with the series, and there were guest stars, but that was the same 5 members for multiple seasons and hundreds of episodes. So I guess now we are at a point like the original series with that team, and obviously it's a symptom of Tom Cruise making it a star vehicle for himself. We're not complaining, but that is a symptom of it. But I like now that we are going back to that sort
It
of.
seems they've found a good chemistry in the current team.
Which, yeah, I've got a couple actually. At Luther's red buttons when he's shooting up in the Felicity scene, I just find them very funny. I mean, she's definitely dead. The adrenaline shot, and then the defibrillator, and then she's got this thing. I mean, I know that she dies, but come on.
Yeah.
She's dead long before that. And also, here we go. I guess this is the biggest one. I like the ending of this movie. I really do. However, knowing that she's gone by the end of Ghost Protocol, I want this film to not have a happy ending. I want it to have a really touching, emotional, dramatic ending where we see Tom Cruise, where we see Ethan give up Julia.
Also, at the same time, that is what the fourth film is. The ending of the fourth film is Ethan giving her up. And also, then you won't get the really sad bit where Benji's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about you and Julius." Which I suppose it's like, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about you and Julia splitting up. Like, I really liked her." And then like, "Oh, she's dead." No, she's not dead.
Okay. I'm gonna let some truth show. It's been a long time since I've seen the fourth film. I thought that she was just like not mentioned.
Oh no, she's fully mentioned.
I'm a fake fan. We are in Katrina's hands this time around.
She's fully mentioned.
Oh well, that's exciting then. Well,
she's actually a big. She's not like Naya. She's actually a big plot point in the fourth film.
Well, I remove my. What's the change? Anything left from your notes, Katrina? You don't take notes. I remembered. Yeah. All right.
I like the bit where he wakes up after she's just defibrillated him, which is the most unrealistic scene ever. Where she somehow brings him back from that, but he instantly like picks up a gun and goes straight into spy mode.
I also like that we give that Michelle Monaghan gets to kill somebody, and
she kills two people.
Yeah, she's on.
Give women agency.
What's left from my notes? I've just put Aaron Paul's in this.
Yes, he is. He is.
That's that. A few fun facts. Time for what, Katrina? A
few fun facts.
After the success of Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg was asked whether he was going to be pursuing a career in Hollywood, to which he laughed and replied, "It's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3.
And then he was.
Oh my God. With a budget of 150 million, this is the most expensive movie ever undertaken by a first-time feature film director. I don't know if that's still true, but it could be.
Could be. Who knows?
Tom Cruise allegedly, big word, allegedly, threatened to cancel publicity for the film if Comedy Central rebroadcast the Trapped in the Closet 2005 episode of South Park, aka the one where he won't come out of the closet and it's all about Scientology.
Yes.
Incredible episode. Anyway, so like, Viacom and Paramount, they all own Comedy Central, blah, 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 blah. The episode was indeed pulled off the air. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of the show, said they were called by Comedy Central and told that the episode would be pulled off the air, and they were also told not to say anything about it. Tom, are you ready for this one? You're going to be sick in your hat. You don't have a hat. Do you want to know the original?
I might have a hat. You can't even see me.
I can't. Yeah, this is true. Your camera's not on screen. Do you want to know the original casting for Benji?
Who?
Your favourite, Ricky Gervais.
That is disgusting. That would have been such a bad film. I'm so glad that Benji's Simon Pegg. So much more endearing. Ricky Gervais isn't endearing. Simon Pegg is.
Scarlett Johansson was originally cast as Felicity. Do we like that?
I thought you were going to say Jen and be like Maggie Q's character. I was like, no surprises there.
To promote the film, Paramount rigged 4,500 randomly selected Los Angeles Times vending boxes with digital audio players, which would play the theme tune when the door was opened. However, the audio players did not always stay concealed, and in many cases came loose and fell on top of the stack of newspapers in plain view, with the result that they were widely mistaken for bombs. Police bomb squads detonated a number of the vending boxes and even temporarily shut down a veterans hospital in response to the apparent threat. Despite these problems, Paramount and the Los Angeles Times opted to leave the audio players in the boxes until 2 days after the movie's opening.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
There's that for you. Tandy Newton was offered the chance to reprise the role of Naya, but turned it down to concentrate on spending time with her family.
Yeah.
Her role was later changed to a new character named Lee Quint, played by Carrie Ann Moss. But when J.J. Abrams took over directing the project, the character was totally scrapped.
The character,
rather famously. Do you want to know who was originally cast as the villain?
Yeah, go on then.
Big Tenet vibes, Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, I could see that.
Literally well, of course you can see it because you did see it last year with Tenet, literally playing the exact same character but Russian. On average, how many times was the phrase Russian oligarch said in Tenet?
7.
That's a good guess. Rachel McAdams turned down the role of Julia.
Good.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Oh wait, you love Rachel McAdams.
I just don't think her and Tom would have had good chemistry.
Yeah. This is going to sound like, oh, I'm a typical man. I'm horrible. Michelle Monaghan is a bit more of a realistic beauty and like a realistic woman. Do you know what I'm saying?
What?
I'm saying like, I think Michelle Monaghan is beautiful. And again, I crawl through broken glass to touch the hem of her garment. But I think she's a bit more realistic as a wife. Oh, if there ever has been a cancelled moment, it's this. It's not really. But like, I feel like Rachel McAdams is a bit more beautiful.
I know what you mean.
Hollywood-like beauty, yeah. And then like to such an extent that in About Time they have to like give her that haircut and you know.
What's wrong with her haircut?
Remembering that Katrina has that haircut even though her camera's off. English screenwriter Ben Treblecook penned previous drafts and had Ang Lee in talks to direct. One story involved the destruction of various wonders of the world, and which was set as a prequel and brought back Emilio Estevez. Do not want that. The script contained elements deemed too sensitive as they drew close parallels to 9/11.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
apparently
God.
that was
9/11.
also. I think apparently that was also like the reason that Danny Boyle was scrapped from the recent No Time to Die, because he wanted to do a script that was like all about Russia and was like going to be really political and was going to have like some actual terrorist stuff instead of just like Rami Malek with a mask. Yeah, who knows? Another draft featured the trafficking of human organs and was rewritten by Frank Darabont.
Another thing I don't like in this film, though, is that you never find out what the rabbit's foot is.
No, I don't mind that. It's like, okay.
I'm nosy, okay?
Yeah, I guess. So basically, when Eddie Marsan, who has like no lines in this movie, poor Eddie Marsan.
I feel a bit bad for him. I quite like him as an actor.
He's great. So when he injects the capsule into Ethan's head, Tom Cruise was constantly complaining about how much it hurts. They decided to paint Tom's hand to look like Marsan's so that he could inject the capsule in his own head because he knew just how hard he could push the gun to his nose without hurting himself.
So he didn't even get to do that. What did this poor man do in this film?
Well, I read a thing that said that in the original script he was saying all the numbers in the opening scene. So he was going like 10. I mean, you know what numbers are.
Do I? I know.
He was doing the countdown, and then
he didn't even do that.
I know, because J.J. Abrams and I mean, good.
It works
change.
better. Don't
yeah,
get me
good
wrong,
change.
but
That's why they did it.
give the man a line or two, maybe.
Give the man a line.
Throw him a bone.
The scene near the end where John Musgrave joins Ethan after the apparent murder of his wife was rewritten on the morning it was shot. Crudup was reading his lines off cue cards throughout it.
I just do quite like that scene, though.
I know, I do too.
Where
there
he's
is
like,
a cold clinical nature to it of Did she believe? Did she believe the Lawrence Fishburne stuff? Did she do this?
Yeah.
Very cold. And obviously Tom Cruise is
A lot more worried about, because it's so funny, because if he'd have just not done that, Ethan would never have known that he was involved in any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Shoots himself in the foot, and then Julia shoots him in the chest. And
then Phillip Seymour Hoffman shoots his translator in the foot. Do you think I am playing? Do you think? Great stuff. Tagline rundown. The mission begins. 2006.
Why did he always use these terrible taglines?
I hope that Ghost Protocol and the future, I think we've got, let's just cross fingers that we get some actual taglines. Tom's big question, we've discussed whether this is the best villain. Is the fact that he's not in it that much, does that take anything away?
I just wish we could have had more time with him.
And I don't really have any other changes. Any other Tom's big questions? Do you have any big questions?
No. Do you think?
Oh, 1 minute. Here we go. Live on the podcast is my dad. My dad, have you seen Mission Impossible 3?
Can't say I have. I think I've probably seen one of them, but over 3 and I'm not sure.
We watched Fallout at the cinema.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember it well.
We're going to take a 2-minute pause. Mission Impossible 3. We are now going to conclude our Mission Impossible 3. My dad can't remember at all any Mission Impossible movies, even though we did watch Fallout. I think he said that he enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. We had a good time. But the point is that Julia came on and he was like, who's that? And I went, oh. And I went, it's his wife from the third film. And he was like, oh, right. Oh, can't remember. So there you go. Katrina, any final thoughts on Mission Impossible 3?
When I said that Mission Impossible 2 was a necessity in order for the rest of the series to be made, I think that's not true. I think Mission Impossible 3 is, because Mission Impossible 3 kind of, it's that beginning of, so this is, they kind of found their feet a little bit more on what they want these films to be, which is then further solidified in 4, 5 and 6.
Yeah. I feel like we're at a, I was going to say, I feel like we're in a halfway point. I am so stupid. We are at a halfway point.
We are.
And I feel like there is a really bizarre split. We've talked about this multiple times. The next 3 films feel like a continuation. These previous 3 films feel like a Brian De Palma movie, a John Woo movie, and a shaky, crazy J.J. Abrams movie. Whereas the next 3, although it's Brad Bird, then McQuarrie twice, do feel like one in the same. Do you? And I mean, I know your answer. You're happier in the second half of this series.
Yeah. I do like Mission Impossible, the first one.
Yeah.
I do think it's a good film. I think it's solid. I think it's great. I think it's got so many good parts. But for me, not necessarily the film I want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're the biggest Rogue Nation fan, but I do.
I love Rogue Nation.
Okay, good.
For me, it's Fallout, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's Mission Impossible, Fallout, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, 3-2.
Yeah, I think that's a good list. For me, 1's a bit further down.
Yeah.
Fallout, Rogue Nation, probably 1, then Ghost Protocol, then 3, and then 2. But I do think 3 is a solid film.
3 is a solid film, and
it's good, and I think it has so many good points. They're just points that do let it down a bit.
Yeah. Mission Impossible 3, wonderful stuff. Halfway time. Let's Brad Bird time now.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about Ghost Protocol because I did watch it the other day with my parents.
Dubai.
Which is basically a film because Tom Cruise went, you know what I really want to do? I really want to scale the Burj Khalifa. And that was the only reason that film was made.
Is that still the tallest in the world?
Yes.
What a man.
What a man.
What a king. And we're going to talk mostly about his hair.
Yes.